right, thank you. Mr. Schock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Madam Secretary. Yesterday, the House of Representatives passed a bill dealing with the Affordable Care Act that clarifies the religious exemption clause for a small segment of the population who, on their annual tax return, will have to basically verify that their religious conscience prohibits them from participating in traditional health care here in our country. This is modeled after a law that the state of Massachusetts put into effect. In the state of Massachusetts since 2006, only 6,000 residents have taken advantage of it, primarily Christian Scientists and others. The bill passed out of the House yesterday unanimously. It's now headed to the Senate, where it enjoys bipartisan support. Senators Ayotte, Schatz, Durbin, Bernie Sanders. I'm just wondering if you could speak to whether or not you support this clarification in the religious exemption clause.
Congressman, I haven't read the language, but I will take a strong look at it, and I do know that it passed yesterday, but I haven't read the bill.
Will you get back to us with your
Sure.
opinion on it? Okay, thank you. Second question has to do with the administration's change in, or HHS's change in, how you're handling the appeals process for Medicare providers. The Office of Medicare Hearings and Appeals has recently taken the unprecedented and unorthodox step in no longer accepting Medicare appeals for processing at the administrative law judge level. Obviously, I'm concerned about the current health care providers and current seniors who could be denied reimbursement, what effect that will have downstream, if you will, if they're not allowed their due process. And then, of course, if we fast forward into the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, if we set the precedent that HHS says we're not going to allow for due process for current Medicare recipients, one would then assume perhaps that would be a practice that the agency would do for folks on the ACA. Are you working through that? Do you see the administration standing firm and not allowing due process on the appeals?
Congressman, this is a major problem and issue, and I know that our head of the Office of Medicare Appeals has been here on the Hill briefing in a bipartisan nature, both the House and the Senate, just on what has happened over the last couple of years. It's my understanding, and I don't want to misspeak, but I'll tell you what my understanding is, and if it's incorrect, I will correct it immediately, that their initial decision to suspend hearings was not for beneficiaries, but for hospitals and providers. So they were very concerned that beneficiaries not get caught in this
Right.
huge queue and go to the back of the line. In the meantime, they are looking at the whole array of systems which could alleviate the queue. The volume has about tripled over the last couple of years. We need to do some system changes. We need to work carefully with Congress, because the last thing we want to do is have anybody give up their due process rights.